We're here with Carly-Rae Cooke from Ordinarily Honest, who's joining us as our expert in charge. Thank you very much for joining us, Carly-Rae.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to chat weed and wellness.
Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are, where they can find you or follow you, and your journey with cannabis?
So I started using cannabis about 2 years ago, only because I really found that I was relying a little too much on all the other medicines out there and not really focusing on what my body needed. So I dove into cannabis initially to find sleep, and it really helped with that. And I decided to kind of add it into my yoga practice to really find that like full relaxation and turn my head off. And that's kind of where Ordinarily Honest came from. If you guys want to check out any yoga stuff, you can follow me online on Instagram. It's at Ordinarily Honest with an underscore. And I also have a few YouTube videos out and lots more coming. So if you guys are looking for a quick stretch, please join me online for some non-traditional CBD or THC optional yoga.
So tell me a little bit about your transition into being a yoga teacher and where that kind of came from, because you said it's kind of non-traditional yoga. What does that mean?
I actually didn't love yoga when I first started teaching. I ended up running away from a bad breakup, went to Nicaragua, decided to do my teacher's training, and at that time I was working at Lululemon, and honestly I just kind of did it as something to try to fit in, I think. I was just looking for something and I didn't really know what it was, and I ended up flying off to Nicaragua and stretching in the sun for a month, which was wonderful. I honestly cried for 21 days straight. It actually almost made me hate yoga more, which is really interesting. But it gave me this other perspective to look at yoga. So now I teach a non-traditional approach just to make it more approachable for everybody else. So I try to stay away from any Sanskrit or anything that kind of separates people and really just get down to the stretching, to the meditative aspects of it, to just giving our bodies a break and relaxing. And that's kind of where I found my love for yoga, is being able to take it to other people, to give them a break from their day or whatever stresses they're kind of dealing with, and tune into their bodies, even just for like 5 minutes. If I can give you that, great. If you want to come for 45 minutes, awesome. Whatever you need. I just really hope that people start to learn to take a break and take some space and rest for themselves, because the world is so busy out there, even in this weird time where we can't actually do much.
You mentioned that you have CBD or THC friendly classes. What are some reasons why CBD might be beneficial or THC might be beneficial in enhancing their practice?
With CBD, I use it when I just am like feeling a lot of tension, but don't want to get that head high or like feel like I'm kind of out of it, but my body needs a break. And I use oils or topicals if I'm feeling like stress in my neck. That's kind of where I use those ones. And then with THC, I use that more to turn off my brain. So if I'm doing a practice and my shopping list or whatever is running through my head, I'll take kind of like a balanced THC CBD dose to allow myself to find that relaxation, but also really just turn off my head and allow like full concentration on whatever I'm doing on my mat and on my body and on my breath, so that I actually get that break. Because you can sit on your mat day after day running through all of those lists and whatever you have to do, but I almost feel like we leave more stressed out than we were when we sat on our mat, if we really can't like tune in to what our body needs at that time and take that little break.
Do you use THC every time, or is it just sometimes that you choose to use it?
When I'm teaching, I don't use THC at all. I just use CBD because I want to make sure that I'm like 100% in my head for my students. When I'm practicing on my own, it depends on kind of what practice I'm doing. If I'm doing a really slow stretch, I'll probably go for like a higher level THC indica to really like melt into my mat and let those muscles let go. But if I'm doing more of a balance class or something a little bit more strenuous, I'll probably lower the THC levels, find more of like an even CBD THC, and go on more of a sativa strain than an indica, so that my body is still feeling the therapeutic effects of the THC and CBD, but I'm not as like worried about maybe my balance or things like that I find kind of disappear as I get higher in the THC levels.
What is your method of consumption?
Right now I'm kind of dabbling in flower, I guess, so rolling joints every once in a while, or smoking a pipe. And
Have you tried vaporizing?
I have a vape, and I like them, but I just feel like I haven't quite found either the right oil or the right vape to use. like I'm new in the vape world, so I'm trying.
So you don't use dry herb vaporizing? You use the oils?
I don't have a vape that takes dry herb.
Okay.
I'd like to. That's kind of the direction I think I'm going to end up going in, because I'm not really loving the oil tincture vape.
So depending on your consumption method and depending on like how long it's going to take for the onset to be, you're probably going to want to factor that in too, right? Because if you take like a little bit of a taster out of a pipe 15 minutes before your class, you're going to have a different experience than if you took an edible 2 hours ago, right?
I try to tell people to be smart when they're dosing, whatever they're dosing, kind of like take into account time ahead of class or whatever they need. We usually, like, everyone shows up a few minutes ahead of time and we actually sesh together, which is kind of nice.
Cool.
If people want to. And then that also allows us to kind of be in the same spot, depending on obviously tolerances. But yeah, it kind of gives us that opportunity to be almost on the same level during the class. And obviously if people don't want to partake, they don't have to, but it kind
Are these for your online classes, your virtual, or can you also smoke in your physical one?
In the physical one, we would just pop outside and smoke.
Like if I go a couple of times and then I want to bring a friend who might be kind of curious but isn't really necessarily comfortable with it, then it's just an experience where they can see how everybody interacts and does whatever, and then nobody's like going off the rails, and then you go have your yoga class and it's amazing. And then you're all jello and you go home and you go to bed. Like
Exactly. It's like my purpose for the space is to create kind of a non-judgmental space for people to test out yoga, to test out cannabis, to come just like as they are, however they want to show up, with no expectations, and just take whatever they want from it, essentially.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for your education and your time. Before we dip out, we are doing a little thing where we're going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the series. We're doing a secret code word in every one of these episodes. Would you do us the honor of giving out our first episode's code word?
Yes. We didn't decide on this ahead of time, but I'm going with Dyson because I'm obsessed with my Dyson vacuum right now.
I love it. That's so good.
New obsession.
Hey, why not? Okay.
But I'm loving my Dyson. And now we're diving into the breathing exercise, right?
Yes.
I thought it would be really nice if we could kind of close out with a little grounding breath work, and then we can direct folks to a link to a longer practice if they're interested in taking it a little bit further on their own.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're going to do the 4-7-8 breath. So take a minute to situate yourself, sitting up nice and tall. This one is super easy. It's a 4-second inhale, a 7-second hold, and then an 8-second exhale out your mouth. And I'm assuming everybody's probably watching this at home by themselves, so feel free to close your eyes if you want to. You as well, ladies. First, before we start the breathing, I just want you to take a breath on your own and reach your arms up above your head, finding a nice long stretch. Big inhale here and an exhale to let those arms go and let them fall wherever is comfortable. Lovely. And then when we're ready, we'll take that big inhale for 4 seconds through our nose. Go ahead. Holding that breath for 7 seconds here. Good. Big exhale for 8 seconds. Out your mouth. Awesome. Inhaling for 4. We'll do it one more time. Holding for 7. And a big exhale for 8. Then you can slowly open up your eyes. Welcome back to the world. So I like to use the 4-7-8 breath at any time, really, if I just need to kind of like focus in on me and what I'm doing and kind of take a break from everything else. The 4-7-8 is my go-to. I probably use it multiple times a day. So feel free to add that to your relaxation toolbox.
Well, thank you so much. This is our very first episode.
Thank you guys. It was so much fun. I hope.
Thank you, Carly-Rae, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you guys at yoga.
Yeah.